Hi. I'm gonna run. I'll be right back. So I didn't realize we were live.
No, it's fine.
These are the conversations that happen when no one's looking. I'll be back.
It's all good. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Saturday game, The Road to Elturel, here on the CarpeDM channel. I am your Dungeon Master, Sir Jenks, and these are some of our lovely adventurers. We got Soph as Snipe, we got Becca, who just pieced as Hattie, the monk, and we have Carmen playing Reyna, Zaville's on Twitter. So today we are running with 3 of our 6 adventurers because we have a lot of business to attend to down in Skirnabel. And some of our other adventurers are awaiting to see how these events shake out in the long term. So, to that end, today we are continuing with our group in Skirnabel. Hilra, who is also a part of this group, after some revelations regarding some, it turns out, deeper seated than was previously believed issues with regards to Elturel, Hilra has opted to go to a chapel not too far outside the city of Skirnabel, about a half a day's ride, to sort through some things and hopefully get some perspective on everything that's been going on with her nation and the people that are ruling it. And join us next time to perhaps help and provide some revelatory ideas. But for the time being, we remain in Skirnabel, and our group is investigating a series of murders that have been happening in town. While trying to get south faster, this particular branch of our group were able to trade a favor in exchange for the use of a teleportation circle, which got them down to Skirnabel. This favor was for the Cloister of the Tear, which is the local church of the god Ilmater. And basically they wanted the group to look into a series of murders that looked to all appearances like they were being committed by one of the Ilmatari. The officials investigating didn't truly suspect the Ilmatari, and the leader of the Cloister of the Tear, the local church, also didn't believe it was one of their members, and so wanted the group to investigate. Last time, they were able to speak with one of the healers of the cloister, Terrence Rayburton, Hattie, and the NPC traveling with the group, Ardius, was able to speak with him. They learned that the healers rotate through the caravans that camp out on the edges of town, all the merchants traveling through. And it was caravan leaders who had turned up missing. One from the West Green, one from the North Green, one from the East Green. The party reconvened back down at the docks and went to investigate where the bodies washed up just outside of town. But before that happened, Snipe and Reyna went to talk with Sir Caliph Moore, the captain of the personal guard of the High Overseer of Elturel, Thavius Krieg, who had been sent from Elturel to Skirnabel to investigate these murders personally. Reyna was curious as to why exactly this man who's a captain of the guard was sent to investigate so far away from the person that he was meant to be protecting. He seemed to not have any ideas as to why he was sent, only that Thavius Krieg asked him to investigate, and so he agreed to. As Snipe and Reyna leave from the guard barracks where they were talking to Sir Caliph Moore, you both are headed down to the docks. And there are 2 ways that you can take to get to your meeting place. You can kind of go back the way you came, down the avenue that you came up through, kind of one of the wider avenues around town that leads past the Bloody Oak. Or if you want a road that's more direct down to the docks, you can go west and then take the road that passes by the cloister of the Tier and make your way down to the docks that way. Which path would you like to take?
I think the longest route.
Okay. So you can walk west down the road as you leave the barracks, which will eventually take you past the cloister of the Tier. But for the time being, what are you discussing on the way?
Probably immediately leaving the place. First things first, we'd say is, like, well, he wasn't very helpful.
No, I didn't really want to get out information out of them. I more wanted to kind of a motive, like why he was here.
I can see why Halera doesn't trust him.
Yeah, he's very contradicting himself. Sure, words.
Are hard.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find Hattie somewhere.
Do you think any of this has got anything to do with what we're going to encounter in Elturel?
I do feel like it might be connected, yes.
Including the deal with me?
Yes, I do kind of believe that's connected in some way.
Same. I think that's the only thing that's really driving me to listen to the dickhead down below us.
Yeah.
Because what he's offered us is nothing. We're literally just walking into a trap that he knows is set up.
Yeah,
But I have no other option.
I feel like the only reason why I would say yes is just so he can keep an eye on him. On what he's doing.
But in doing that, he can keep an eye on us.
Yeah. Would you feel comfortable joining him in his journeys towards where your demon is? Or...
Well, no, obviously not. I just wish I knew more. Because I feel like I knew what he was talking about when he said he'd made a deal in the first place that meant he had my demon, but I don't know who. I don't remember if I should know who.
No one
remember
of his
feeling-
description matches anything in your memory. Nothing.
No, but I feel like there was someone, but it's like having a picture full of people and one person is cut out. It's like there was someone there, but you don't know who it was.
Would you maybe... No, if you don't know them, why would you understand why they would trade you for something?
It would have helped. To have the chance to come back against the hags. I mean, I never really used that piece that I traded with them.
Yeah, because you needed to give up a memory. Do you think you can get it back?
I don't know. All the deals that we've done with the hags have been done. I don't think we're ever going to see them again.
Yeah.
I at least hope the other half of me remembers something. Because I don't remember who started all this, but I remember what they did with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't nice. And I get the feeling that what he did is what our Texas is going to want to do with me again.
Would you mind me asking what they did? No is an answer.
They just used me. think to a lot of higher beings, demons are just vessels of destruction.
Do you know what your other half is capable of? Or. Because you've been together for so long.
Yeah, but I think I kind of pushed back those memories.
If Artaxis got a hold onto your other half, and he were to use them, what is the worst thing they can do in your eyes? What do you think is the worst thing they can do?
Probably wipe out populations worth millions. Depends how much time and if he knows how to use that half. And I don't think he does, which is probably more dangerous.
And can
He
you?
says he wanted the other half because it's new blood, and that could help him in the blood wars of whatever the heck is going on down between the Abyss and the Infernal. I don't think it's going to help him, but he's not going to realise that until he realises he's made a terrible mistake.
Snipe.
Mm-hmm.
What is your other half capable of in terms of like specific abilities that you have either used in the past or the demon has used through you? What are some examples of things that it is capable of doing?
It's more the case of demons don't necessarily keep into a more solid form, and that one form that the demon half was able to be was a liquid form. So they could flood and drown masses if they were big, or they could be more subtle in a way of taking life by poisoning. So like trickling outwards towards like waterways and situations like that to just poison a lot of stuff.
Okay. Not to interrupt the flow of the scene, I just I was concerned by the fact that you just said that your demon could essentially commit genocide, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, I'm gonna need some clarifications on that."
Yeah. Well, demons would never be that aggressive, they'd be subtle. So it's a case of like, as easily as a disease can spread, or as easily as like water can spread in a flood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Poison the source.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead and continue.
Well, what I know of the Blood Wars is that it's a battle that basically keeps all evil at bay and makes sure that it stays where it belongs. Because they're too busy with each other, they don't interfere with anything over here. So if it's not necessarily that I'm worried what happens when Artaxis uses your demon in the battle in the Blood Wars, but what comes after that. If the battle is won, if there's a winning side, yeah, what will happen then? Well, because I feel like it doesn't matter which side will win, but if one side's win, then they got nothing. They will be overthrown. They will be out of battle, basically. Yeah.
All they'll have is a wasteland, really.
Yeah, and then they can focus on whatever is here. Because they are interested in taking over this plane.
I don't have any other option. Like, this is the closest I can get to getting that other half back. And trying getting out of here so that it doesn't have to stay here and, cause havoc in your world any longer. But at the same time, this fucker's just standing in the way to say, oh, I know you're going to do it.
What if we say no and make our own way, make our own path towards the demon? We know where he is. We know how to mess with Bahamut. They told us. We got the basic information. If we do research, if we look into it.
He wouldn't just give that over unless he had something planned in the background. So even if we did say no, you honestly think he's just going to respect that? He's just going to let us go on our own? He's going to follow us.
Yeah, but if he follows us, then he's too busy following us and not working on the other stuff. Then he's not planning on getting this demon back.
But following us is getting the demon back.
Yeah, but we also have other stuff to do. So if he will keep an eye on us, he will be too busy with us and not being able to do anything else.
You think I'll be doing anything else? I'm dying. I need to get the other half of me back. There's no other option I have right now. I either say yes and go along with this, and hopefully I'm just quick enough that all the traps that either we set up or he sets up go off, that it's just a 1 in a million chance I succeed.
Can you both roll me? Let's call it an insight check.
21.
23.
23. Here's the thing, right? So you have the information that Artaxis gave you in the conversation. The problem is you only have what he gave you in the conversation, right? So if it's a matter of trying to outfox him, right? If you want to say no, and you, like, there is absolutely nothing actually stopping you from saying no. Like, he was very open about say yes, say no, do whatever the fuck. The problem is, if you want to counter him, you have to have a better idea of what his cards on the table are. So, without being able to figure that out, it's hard to know what the counter move is going to be. The wild card on the table would be Ranger Monk's Hood. You don't know what her deal is. You don't know why she was there. She was just there. You didn't have any information that you could, like, read her situation, what's going on, other than the fact that she didn't want to say anything at the table, and that she was very nervous that if she said something at the table, it was going to have some sort of repercussion. You don't know what her connection or what her deal in all of this is. So that could be a great entry point for you guys to get more information. If you could find a way to talk to Ranger Monk's Hood away from Artaxis, that could be a great way for you guys to potentially get some background information.
Also, a weird question. It might be a bit meta, but would Reyna,
Sure.
because she's a cleric, would Reyna know about resurrection options like soul transference, anything like that?
You would know that resurrection is a possible thing. So, to put it into context, resurrection is not something that is either easy to do or common to do, right? It requires, first of all, a very expensive diamond. And for most people, it requires at least 8 hours of prayer, because most people don't have that. It's not something that they ask for from their gods on a daily basis, if you will. And most people don't have that one in the bank ready to go.
Yeah.
So it requires a lot of ritual and ceremony to bring a soul back. A lot of people who work as field medics, like the ones at the Cloister of the Tear, they'll learn spells like Revivify, things that they can use on the battlefield. But even that has limitations because it still requires materials that they wouldn't be able to, first of all, are not plentiful enough for them to carry with them as like standard field equipment. But also like it would take, you can't just keep reviving everybody on a battlefield. It would be too exhausting for the field medics, and then they would be in danger of falling to the enemy on the battlefield. So it's not an uncommon thing for people to be brought back, but generally there's a lot of looking at the circumstance. Now, with adventurers, it's different, right? With adventurers, if you are a cleric of a god and you have chosen a life of adventure, you might be more likely to be able to revive a person or have that prepared and ready. Yeah. But for like clerics in temples or clerics with more who do less more sensible things with their lives than choose a life of adventure, it tends to be a very special occasion or a very special circumstance to bring a soul back. And speaking of the cloister of the tier, you guys are passing that way. You're about halfway through your walk. So basically you're just going to pass by the cloister and then continue your conversation down to the docks. But as you pass by, Reyna, you notice something that you did not notice the other day when you all were just trying to get out of the building and get yourself situated and sorted, figure out what your next move was. You notice as you walk by that the outside of the cloister is actually decorated with a series of 6 statues. Each one depicts a person. Are any of you familiar with the Orsan Michel in Florence? It is fine if you say no. I understand that that's a niche reference. I just took a Florentine Renaissance art class in college because I'm a high-class hipster. So basically, what it is it was an old church in Florence, and the upper floor of it was used by guild masters in the Renaissance. And basically, as a way to pay the church for use of the space, each of them commissioned a statue of a Catholic saint, which was then displayed in niches outside along the walls of the building. And this is sort of the same deal. It is 6 statues, 3 on each side of the gate leading into the cloister. And you see that amongst them, there is a man in full plate armor with a shield pressed outward. There is a monk who appears to be kneeling and praying with a cane hooked over one arm, wearing monk's robes. Has the Franciscan monk bird's nest thing going on up top, but the head is bowed. There is an elderly looking man who has a yoke with 2 buckets on it, wearing sort of simple peasant clothes. He looks a little crooked and bent. And there are actually 3 statues. There's him and then 2 children on either side who are carrying smaller buckets along beside of him. And he appears to be like laughing and talking with the children. And then on the other side of the gate, there appears to be a younger figure, maybe late teens, early 20s. Long hair coming around his face. He's wearing like very fine, ruffling clothes. His hands are bound with cord, and they're pressed up against his face, and you see rivulets of water coming down through them, falling into a basin at his feet. The next is a middle-aged looking man, balding, stooped and hunched. It looks like his limbs are bent. It looks like he may even have like a hobble to one of his feet. He has a lot of cord bound around his legs and arms. and he's just sort of stooped and very careworn. And then the last appears to be another soldier figure wearing just greaves, body covered in scars, like nicks and dents that you're not even sure if it's like erosion to the statue or if it was designed to be that way. But you see that he is holding a sword at the ready, directly in front of him. And you just sort of pass these statues by as you pass by the cloister.
I'm gonna have some questions to Cloister about those statues.
Sure.
I think the cloister's going to let us back in.
Well, if you want, you can examine them now. But that's just, you guys are in the middle of a conversation. I just wanted you to clock those statues as you walk by. That's all. But if you want to look at them closer now, you can. It's your choice.
Reyna will stop in her tracks and kind of look behind her, glance them over, and then continue walking.
Sure.
Just keeping that in mind.
Mhm.
I do think the Cloister will let us back in. We're helping solving a murder case, so
Don't be able to solve it. Let's hope Hattie's got a lot more information than we currently had.
it'd be nice.
Sorry, is there something else you wanted to talk about right now?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
If you... The choice is up to you, of course, with our taxes. Yes and no is both an answer. If you feel like yes is the only option right now, then I will follow you. But I feel like no would be the better option.
Did you ever speak to Monkshood when we were in the Misty Forest?
Once or twice, yeah.
What are the components for a sending spell?
Nothing. Why?
I feel like we could get more information.
A short piece of copper wire. That's the That's it.
You saw me going for it. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have a holy symbol, so a holy symbol functions as a spell focus. So yeah, you don't need copper wires specifically to do something.
Well, something that really stood out to me is that in the forest, Mangsu was very, like, devoted to Rilifang. Like the acorn fell out of a tree into Hattie's hand. And that's the moment when she decided that we would help her. And I'm so curious why she's following our taxes now.
Maybe we could ask her?
Yeah.
Snipe, roll me an intelligence, a flat intelligence check.
Okay. Do I have any mods for intelligence?
Just whatever your plus 2 intelligence is.
Yeah, that's just straight up. 14.
14. You think back to your own time in the Misty Forest. The night that you were not clocked by our taxes, the night that his eyes swept over you, but didn't linger on you. And you think back to that whole experience. You remember that Monkshood was very adamant that you not talk to his retinue. That she was very adamant in pulling you away from him, along with the Grove speaker. They were both very adamant to get you away from him whenever he started walking down to the docks, and they saw you talking with his retinue. And I believe you even asked her afterward about him. And she was very dismissive. Uh, as far as you recall, in the brief interactions you had with her regarding our taxes, she didn't like him. She didn't even want him to be there.
Interesting.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you
I feel-
want.
I feel like she's definitely hiding something, and maybe we could just help her out if we just make her promise that she'll help us out.
How would she be able to help us out?
I don't know. Maybe she knows more about our taxes. She seemed off back in the Misty Forest, if I can remember.
Yeah. If you want, I can send a message. But I don't know if would now be a good timing. I don't know where they are.
Well, they're within the town. I mean, we have 36 hours.
I feel like he would keep her by your side. By his side.
Would he be able to read her minds knowing that she was sent a message?
I don't know. Can always give it a try.
Yeah. Be so cautious about it that just word it in such a way that we're just trying to comfort her.
What shall we ask her?
Oh god, I have to think. Oh no.
Because someone who's under a spell would not know they're under a spell until it's ended. We could ask her to meet us somewhere.
Yeah, if you want to risk that.
I think it's riskier for her to leave his side than it is for us.
Well, I mean, we certainly can't go up to her, face to face and ask her because he's most obviously going to be there, unless we catch her on her own.
Let's ask her about
Ask her about what happened. Because we've already asked her before, like, why she was exiled from the forest, but she wasn't given the chance to go into detail. If we just ask her again, like, what happened?
yeah. What happened when you left the forest?
Yeah, when you were exiled,
And then
what
maybe
was said
ask
to
her.
you, what happened?
Maybe ask her what happened and if she feels comfortable meeting us somewhere.
Maybe just ask her that, and whatever answer comes out of it, we can make a judgment to think of whether, like, she's under a spell or not, whether he knows that she's listening or not. And then see if we can send another sending to organise to meet up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can word it, you're better with words.
I do only have 2 spell slots left. Just gameplay information about. Okay. Very
We have
well.
Hattie and a stick. What we need.
Having a stick. Hell yeah.
Yes.
Rena will stop in her tracks and just kind of scan around the area to see if she sees anyone familiar looking weird at them. Just anything strange.
You don't see anyone that you're familiar with. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
19.
19. Yeah, you don't see anyone that appears to be staring at you in any which way. You're pretty close to the docks, so a lot of people, it's like caravans being unloaded and moving up the road and like dispersing. It's, it's getting toward just past noon now, so a lot of people are like either moving to leave or, trying to figure out where they're going to settle in for the night at this point. So a lot of activity. You're kind of like protected by the crowd here.
Okay, let's see how we. And she will pull out her spider pendant and clutch it and contact Monksid and say,
Okay.
now I have to think of something to say and I have no clue. Let me think.
Do you want me to help you with it?
First part of having to ask questions is having the questions to ask, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just like, how am I going to phrase this? Am I just going to interrupt in her mind, just be like, hi, I'm here? Or am I going to say hello?
Hello.
Probably just like recap saying, first we met, you didn't answer fully. Our question, something along those lines. It's like
for 25 words. It's so complicated. Okay. When we met, you've avoided our taxes. What has changed in the meantime?
what happened when you were exiled?
What happened when you were exiled? Has
7 words left.
Persuaded you or charmed you? Has he persuaded you or charmed you? Like, has he convinced you to come to his side, or has he actually?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah,
that's about 25 words, I believe.
Yeah, that's 25.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19. Has he? Yeah, you nailed it.
Hey.
Sweet of you. Okay. Let's see.
I love it when it turns out we haven't stumbled upon something that's easy to work out.
Yeah.
When we make the DM think, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
I have to think of how she would respond to that. Let's see. He threatened the forest. He threatened the forest enough I don't want to call his bluff. Don't worry about me. He's a scumbag.
Nice.
I relay this to Snipe.
I don't think he would be up his own arse enough to fake something like that.
No.
So she is free to talk.
She's not charmed. She's not under any effect. It's just she cared
She's just
enough for the
threatened.
forest. Yeah.
Yeah, based on that response, you think that the reason that she wasn't talking yesterday is she didn't want to say something that would would seem to him to be a slight.
Should we ask her to meet us somewhere tonight?
Yeah, that would be helpful. You can get further information about him. I mean, if she hates him, I'm pretty sure she'll be willing to spill any beans about him.
Yeah, but I think she would, but also she might not spill everything because if she would threaten the forest again. He would threaten the forest again.
Not if he doesn't find out.
Okay. Shall we meet her at the docks tonight?
Wherever's furthest away from the Bloodied Oak. Whatever's on the opposite end of the compass of where that is to the city.
So, just to be clear, the 36 hours started last night. So you can meet her in the evening before you have to talk to Artaxis again, but it will be right before
Yeah.
you have to talk to him again.
Yeah.
All right, just being sure.
If we let me see. You dropped a map in the Discord a while ago. Let me see.
Yes.
It was Cornabel. Just
So,
because you marked on the bloody
Where was
oak.
it dropped?
it was in the Discord. I also have a map here.
Thank you.
So the Bloody Oak. What's the best way to hold this? Yeah, that's the best way. So the Bloody Oak is this green spot right down here.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys were up here at the barracks, and then you made your way down around past the Cloister of the Tier, down to the docks, which is right down here is where the docks are. So it's just down the road from the Bloody Oak is where the docks are.
North is up.
Yeah, and north is up on
Where
this
was
map,
it
so
dropped?
that's north.
Which Discord? We have to
Oh,
read it.
It's the normal Discord.
I think I put it in the Road to
Yeah,
Elturel
it's-
Discord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah. 10th of March. You dropped it.
There you go.
What? Not the docks.
Maybe-
Maybe the Northfields.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Fine now.
The entrance of Northfields, or. Okay.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe while we're there, we'll also find the murderer.
Would be coincidental. Okay. Last spell. And she will clutch the amulet again and say, "Glad to know you are still you. Meet us entrance Northfields. If you can want to talk about plans with and against our taxes."
Must be careful. Never sure when he's listening. has been listening to you since you left the forest. He knows almost everything. I'll try.
Okay. I do hope that the pendant was his way of listening to us.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, he knows everything almost.
There were a few times you didn't have the pendant with you. There's a few blanks.
Yeah.
Although speaking of pendant and speaking of us being here, maybe we should find Hattie.
Yes, about this time is when Hattie walked up in her amazing new suit, stunting on him in the pants and the cummerbund and the jacket with the bolero. So this brings us back to where we left off last session, which was at the riverbank, standing in the mud outside the western wall of Skirnabel. Just you three in the mid-afternoon sun, left to your own devices and free to voice whatever suspicions you have, without fear of any particular repercussions from nosy guards or nosy anybody. So,
Okay,
So the-
so
yeah.
come on. You haven't spoken, Becca.
Yeah, Hattie.
Jesus. So I just want to check. The clothes are a good idea, yes?
They do look fancy.
They most certainly are an idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I found out some things. Our DM is having a stroke.
That's Arthur.
It's
Arthur's-
Arthur's
Oh,
hat.
hats.
Arthur's playing with his own hat. Like at your
I was
feet.
like, what is happening?
Yeah,
I
he's just,
forgot
it has
about
the
Arthur.
dangly.
That's
it-
on
yeah,
me.
he has the dangly
Yeah.
bits, so he's like,
Yeah.
like with his paws up, trying to hit at the dangly bits on his hat. Sorry, I'm being distracting. Go on, Hattie.
It's fine. It's fine. That would be Hattie with Arthur. Just
Like,
Just constantly side-eyeing towards him, just like, what are you doing?
stop that.
So firstly, I no longer have a beetle. Thank
Oh.
you, Arthur. Did
Is he
Beetlejuice
in...
ever come back? Or did he just fly off?
Oh, what you told him to fly. You told him to run, I think, is actually what you said. So that's what he flew off and has not yet returned to you.
Okay. Yeah, I no longer have a beetle, so thank you for that. And just kind of picks up Beetlejuice like a wet sock. Now
Beetlejuice.
also has
Arthur.
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 Hug.
He's still close to me.
He's still there.
He's close to my heart.
So hard today.
But yes, you passed me the wet sock.
Oh, poor beast. Just like, there you go.
Just kind of wiggling him gently.
He's having a time. He can't be mad right now. He's got a new hat.
Yeah, so I found out some things.
Oh yeah? What'd you find?
New clothes.
So the healers, I think, they sometimes do rounds, or rather they always do rounds around the
Clothes?
yeah.
Yeah.
So my brain is not working. So yeah, that's fun. Also, I was with Artisan, but he just kind of said I gotta go talk to someone and wandered off. Like he looked like he had like an epiphany moment. So I think whatever he's got cooking up, oh boy, is it gonna be good?
Just say they have rounds.
Don't know how to play Hattie anymore. Sorry, excuse me while I have a breakdown.
Aw. You say the healers have rounds. Did they say like scheduling or something? Did they mention something like that?
There is a schedule. Apparently there is someone in charge of it, which I was given a name.
Pelea, the master healer that you all met whenever you first got here.
Yeah. So it's Pelea. She makes a schedule, and then like a specific like handful of them go around and do like duty things. Mr. One-Leggedy Man, my friend, maybe friend. Why is there hair in my face? I think the hat would have been a good idea for me to buy. Maybe it would have controlled the hair. Anyway, so Pelea makes a little listy thing, and they kind of just wander around all of the fields. No, wait, that's wrong. They have a specific field that they go to.
Changs, quick question. Like, no, it's not nothing against Becca. It's nothing against Hattie. Don't worry. Did they ever mention to us like in which order the murders happened, like from which field? Because the east is the last one.
You were looking at the corkboard in Caliph Moore's office, and you saw that the progression was the west green, the north green, and then the east green.
Okay, just that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there is a schedule for their healers, and we kind of came to the conclusion that because someone from the Northfield went missing, so it has to be someone who can drag a body around.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be least suspicious? Jesus, that took effort to get that out. But who would be least suspicious dragging a body around?
Baloo
I don't know.
drag dead bodies around. So, morticians.
Probably not me.
I think it would be an entire show if you would drag a body around in those clothes.
It will be so much fun. I think I should knock one of you out and do it just to see what would happen.
Has Hattie ever tried to drag a dead body around?
Nope.
Okay.
But okay,
Smart,
so
Becca, smart.
yeah.
I saw that trap and I decided not to fall into it.
We're learning.
Moments of clarity.
So I just also there was some bacon in the pocket of this jacket which I've just found. Don't mind me.
Okay, that's a bit odd, but sure. So if we can find out the scheduling and see if any of the morticians, especially Lila, is connected to like planning on those days or those weeks when they're supposed to be on those fields.
Here's the thing,
it's connected.
If we can link the same person to each field in the same week, boom. This bacon, I shouldn't have started eating. It's a little chewy.
Says Hattie,
easy
who had a
for-
piece of Ardias's cooked bacon in her pocket.
If it's...
Is it meant to taste like this?
I guess so.
Maybe it was a piece of fluff. I heard they make dyes out of really weird things.
What?
Maybe Arthur just had a piece of bacon in his mouth and dropped it in your pocket. Because I do have bacon rations.
That
You
sounds
do
pretty
feed him
likely.
jerky a lot.
Yeah.
You just shared a meal with the stoat.
You've become closer.
It was a little bit damp, I'm not gonna lie. How
It's in
much
your
does
mouth now.
Arthur dribble?
Does it really dribble?
He might do. If this
Maybe he
piece of
goes-
bacon
How soggy is the bacon? Is it the soggy piece
Well,
of
right
bacon?
now it's very soggy.
He
Does
may
anyone
have dragged
any
himself through a
water?
puddle.
Yeah, it could be.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, what else is going on here?
Waiting for someone else to pick up. I was filling until
Yeah.
Arthur got
Yeah.
back.
Sorry.
waited.
sorry.
Alright.
We can't just cut that bit. We needed to play that out.
Yeah, we needed to see how far you were going to take it.
Yeah.
All the fucking way, man. All of the way.
That's commitment right there.
You're welcome.
So
I
after a
do
moment
actually
after a moment of considering Hattie and her potentially soggy bacon, pocket
Here's the
bacon.
thing. Here's the thing. I actually feel a little bit sick right now because of that.
Great, wonderful.
Wonderful.
And now we've all learned a valuable lesson about pocket bacon. Carpe diem. We're educational too. Don't eat that pocket bacon.
Don't.
Don't
If
store
you-
bacon in your pocket.
If you buy a blindingly bright yellow jacket and you find a piece of soggy bacon in the pocket, don't
That's
eat
right.
it.
Arthur
It's
couldn't
not-
have
it's
put
not a
that bacon
gift.
there.
It's-
That is
it's
literally
more of a concern.
rando bacon
Yeah.
that you just ate out of a jacket
Don't
pocket.
eat random food you find in your pockets, or don't drink out of a random drink you find on the street. Just don't.
Dave is not going to
Anyway.
be happy
I'm
that
not
we have not
saying-
progressed this story.
No, look, I would love to continue asking questions about the pocket bacon. However, I am going to, as
have a
the
murder
dungeon
to solve.
master, ask
What the fuck are we doing?
to,
What
Good
the
to
fuck?
go back to
Over an hour.
going over evidence. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So
okay,
back on
right,
track.
So,
I think
can-
I was
me-
also told
No,
other
Hattie,
things.
come on.
Hattie, focus,
Okay.
focus.
So
If we
the
can
other thing,
connect-
this is important information. So the other thing might not be important information. I learned it though. So sharing is caring. The cord isn't readily available to the public.
Okay, that's good to
You
know.
have to get it from the cloister.
Okay. Right. I just imagine Raina and Snipe just doing that in front of Hattie as she's thinking back of the past hour,
Okay.
Hattie getting distracted by something shiny and just like
just watching
If
Arthur.
we can connect the scheduling to the murders and see which healer was on all the 3 fields of the weeks of the murder, then we can investigate them further and ask them questions. So, yes.
surely they would have done this by now.
Yes,
they
but we need the
done it-
information because we don't have it. They have it. Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of things going on. There's a bird over there that's taking a bath. It's very distracting. Okay, so
Irena will kind of
Surely-
kneel down and just kind of put her hands on the side of your temples and just kind of make like those little flaps on your eyes just to get them focused on me. It's like,
you're giving Hattie
Focus, Hattie.
blinkers.
yeah.
Just take
Just like-
deep breaths.
Deep breaths. You can do it. Just kind of look me in the
Focus
eyes, Eddie.
back.
Look me here.
Okay, so you have really pretty eyes. Not the point. Not the point. So surely they would have looked at this because they were looking at people who might have witnessed it. Yeah. So maybe they've already looked at the list, so they already know who who was on duty. So this is really hard. So they covering it up? Question mark. I'm a little gassy from that bacon. I'm so sorry.
Maybe they do. They have Jesus. Maybe they do have the information that we
catching
need to know, because we're not part of the cloister and we're not part of the guard, so we're a party that's completely free from everything. So if we can look at the schedule, see where everyone was, and maybe we can link it up.
Maybe that's why we were hired, because there was like known cover-ups going on and they didn't like it, but at the same time they couldn't say anything about it. So we were like the wha-ha
Exactly.
to their oh no.
Yeah.
What
So-
the fuck am I talking?
Possibly.
So
It
if
might also be helpful where, okay, so yeah, it's probably just like a passing fancy for someone who is a mortician to drag a dead body, but it would be helpful if there were witnesses to see someone drag a body from the Northfield to this river. If we could ask them, if you remember that, what did they look like?
Yeah, maybe. So plan. We find out who was on duty, and then we go and ask people if they saw anyone, like a what are we calling them, morticians?
Mhm.
Kind of sound like a pediatrician.
Just all three of us, just like.
I don't know if watches exist in this world, but I feel like Sniper's just constantly glancing at it to just see how much time has passed.
Like,
No,
am I dying? Am I dying?
I think that Hattie's landing on some salient points here. I mean,
Yeah.
it does make sense that the watch would have looked into this had they known about the rotation. It makes sense that they would have looked into it. Which brings up the question of, if they haven't looked into it already, why haven't they?
Thank you for putting into words what, not just as a character, as a player, I have been struggling to say for the past
Well-
like 5 minutes.
It could be that
got you.
they have already looked into it, but we haven't. So if we have all the information we have right now and also get that information, we might get a lot further, because we are able to investigate and question the person in question in private.
Mm-hmm.
Because
What happened?
yeah, go.
What happens if we find out that there is a cover up going on? Are we going to unveil it, or are we just going to be like, and oop, oh no, we can't find out who it is? What a
From
shame.
what we heard from Keyleth Moore,
Like, morally, where do we stand?
I think right now it's just the best to unveil the killer, not necessarily think about the consequences it will have. Just make sure that it's known who it is.
Okay, I'm good at it. Good at it. Fuck me, what's in this goddamn wine?
Wine.
Thing is, I'm not even tipsy. I'm literally just tired.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Which is like the most
Alcohol's not
disappointing thing about adulthood is like.
Okay.
Anyway,
Let me ask you guys
let's go back
this.
to D&D.
what was I talking
no.
about?
This is good. But here's my question: is where is it that you all are going to go next? Because eventually you're going to have to go somewhere. So are you going to go somewhere to ask somebody some questions? Or are you going to go straight to where you're going to meet, hopefully going to meet Ranger Monkshood later? What's your plan of action?
Do we want to go to the cloister? Ask for a
Yes.
schedule, see who links up with everything, and go ask them questions?
There's some funny statues that I want to pose with.
I think at this point, if there is a cover-up, then us storming in and just asking questions and only taking information and not saying any opinion of it is the only way we're going to get out of this without, getting caught for catching on to the cover-up.
Yeah. And I actually do really feel like there's a cover up, because the things we heard from Keyleth Moore are very contradictory to things he also said.
Well, and here's the thing, like Master Palia, he's the one who hired, like the master healer of the cloister is the one who hired you to solve this problem outside of the guards. Like he's the one, so like going to the cloister of the tier isn't weird because you were literally hired by the cloister of the tier to find and bring the murderer to justice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's go to the cloister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's ask them some questions.
What do you know about the statues out the front?
Who are you asking? You asking us?
Yeah. Who else? I mean, Anther.
Well-
Anther. Who the fuck is Anther?
Now, okay, so
Can we get
I'm gonna say
second
that
folk called Anther?
Hattie doesn't know about the statues just yet, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Only
Hassan
Reina
doesn't know
noticed
the
them.
statues. Only we know the statues.
Hattie, were they
No.
just outside the front?
if
Yeah.
we want to make the joke that Hattie noticed the statues whenever you guys left the cloister the first time and just said nothing to anyone, that's fine.
Sure.
like Hattie could have absolutely noticed these statues because you guys were there. Like you all were already outside. So yeah, Hattie could have totally noticed these statues.
Okay.
Well, I actually don't really know anything about them.
Okay.
I just know they're there. We could also ask the front, like of the or the master healer or the person at the reception about them,
Yeah.
if you're curious.
I mean, I'm not curious like that in that way.
Okay.
You're curious, and I just want to pose and look funny with them, kind of way.
A little bit, yeah, could you tell?
Yeah.
Sure.
I can.
Nothing wrong with that. It's just we don't want to get kicked out of the place twice. So just
We're
gotta be
walking and
careful.
talking, by the way, towards the cloister.
Yes,
Sure.
hopefully.
Yeah, no, I
hopefully
get
we're not progressing.
You're still standing on the riverside
Um,
bank, just like, hi.
Well, I was
Kicking
going
the
to.
pebbles in the water.
I was going to assume that this was a walking and talking conversation, but I did want to ask if there was anything else you guys wanted to air before you go back into town. Because once you're back in town, you do have to be a little bit more guarded, because if someone overhears you accusing people who may or may not actually be the killers, that could lead to trouble. So if there's anything else you guys want to air out, the river is the place to do it. But if there isn't anything, then yeah, you guys walk and talk to the cloister.
I don't think we're really accusing anyone right now, so I think we're safe enough.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys then make it back to the cloister of the tier. The 6 statues stand outside, and the gates are open. The archway is open. It's the middle of the afternoon, which means that the cloister has a few patients, but is not as busy as it will be come nightfall. Perfect time for a visit, and we will do that after our break.
Hey.
Good timing.
Nice.
I wasn't
We are
struggling.
back exactly where we left
ended.
off of last session.
Like an
cannot
hour
believe-
later.
We walked
Yeah.
Cannot
10 feet.
believe.
We're so good at it. Everyone. I'm gonna
And
update this drawing. Yeah. The drawing of Elturel, I'm gonna update it soon.
Nice.
Because I've improved skills, so
oh, come on, scene transition.
work.
Why you gotta treat me like this?
Why you gotta treat me this way?
Why you gotta freeze like this on me? I swear I just had the preview editor up and it was fine.
You just love technology. My God.
God, you know, I love it so
Twitter's
much.
still down.
Yeah, Twitter's still.
Wait, can they hear us right now?
Maybe, I don't know. The timer isn't ticking forward on XSplit, so it might just be frozen.
Uh-oh.
It says I have 21
Someone-
tabs open, so